Braves take 2 of 3 with a 6-2 win in Milwaukee today, moving to 58-49 on the season. Next up, 4 home games versus the lowly Marlins. Welcome to another edition of ATL Prime Sports. I'm JJ Jurjevich. Joining me is our fabulous producer, Wayne Ridenauer, in wonderful Memphis, Tennessee. And you can catch us all at ATL Prime Sports on Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, Apple and Spotify. Please give us a like and a subscribe and hit that notification buttons so you can get the latest content from ATL Prime Sports. Our personal X's at JJ Get You One for myself, at RWY Jr. for Wayne, at Corder Todd for TC Todd Corder, who is out with family this week, and LG for Real Though for Larry Gardner, your voice of the Rome Emperors, is doing just that. He's PAing a Rome Emperors game as we speak. Hopefully the Emperors are taking it to him. How's everybody doing, Wayne? How you doing, man?
Well, I need to watch what I ask for because I was hoping that St. Louis would make a run, before the start of August, pushing them up because I had picked them to win their division. I just didn't know it was going to be at the expense of Texas, who they've beat like 2 games in a row now. So I'm just gonna wait it out and see what happens next. That's all I can do.
And pesky Cardinals, man, them Redbirds, they always make a run for October, it seems like.
Yeah.
I'm doing well, Wayne. Not as well as DJ Moore, though. The Bears wide receiver reached an agreement on an extension, 4-year, $110 million. It's going to make it the largest extension in Bears franchise history. Pretty impressive when you see all the players that have come and gone through that organization over the years. The largest extension in Bears franchise history. DJ Moore, 4 years, $110 million. And listen to this, Wayne. $82.6 million guaranteed. How would you like that?
Man, that is something else. Now, how many more years do you think you're going to play in Soldier Field?
Boy, they're going to renovate it, so it looks like they're gonna keep the same site and play in that cold front right there, right off Lake Michigan.
Well, as much as they've improved that stadium, I think it blocks a lot of that wind, but that doesn't help with anything that spills over the top or comes around the edge and makes weird eddy currents.
Isn't that the truth?
All right. Well, hey, listen, before we start the show, are we ready to start? I mean, we're done.
I think we're ready to start.
I want to flip this around just a little bit. So if you could just push on there, and I'm going to pull over here, and we'll see if we can go. You ready? We're going to count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Just some silliness for the viewers, something to change it up some.
Yeah, why not? Have a little fun. What's on tap for today? We're talking Major League Baseball trade deadline. We're going to review who won, who lost. Well, we're not going to do any losers here. I don't like doing that. It's basically our opinion on who won the trade deadline. And we're going to talk about some Olympics, man. That's about all that's going on, so let's get into it. Football's right around the corner. We'll be talking about that for months on end. So let's talk a little baseball. Let's talk a little Olympics. And let's get this thing going. As usual, Major League Baseball's trade deadline concluded with the fury of moves from several teams. Jeff Passan from ESPN said it best. There were a lot of trades today, and FanDuel had a great response. And it was Jimmy Butler gassed after the game. It was just great fun. But there were a fury of moves made. Let's take a look at the Braves. I'm wearing the Braves jersey. This is Atlanta Prime Sports. So the Braves look to go 2021 2.0 by bringing back Jorge Soler and Luke Jackson. Will this be enough to compete for a World Series? Time will tell that, Phil. We'll leave it at that. No, I'm just kidding. What if I did that, folks? Time will tell. All right, next topic.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Wayne. Go ahead.
No, I don't have anything. I was just laughing at that. That's like I'm going to let myself off the hook. Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell. All right, next topic.
Well, see, I'm probably going to pull a couple of those during this show anyway, so I'm not going to make too much fun of it.
Well, that's why people keep on listening, folks. That's why people keep on listening. Again, reset here. The Braves look to go 2021 2.0, bringing back Jorge Soler and Luke Jackson. Is this enough to compete for a World Series? I do think time will tell is the simplest answer there, but I'll get deeper into it here. I like Soler's numbers coming back into Atlanta's uniform. 6 for 9 in his last 9 at bats with San Francisco before arriving in today's lineup, going 0 for 3. But again, teach his own. Here we go. 2021 flashback, first at bat in the Braves uniform, 3-run homer. Completely different outcomes. But again, coming into Atlanta, getting hot, raised his average a couple points. His numbers as a Brave are pretty good. As we know, World Series MVP in 2021, his slash line, 280 average. Again, this is in a Braves uniform. 280 average, 393 OBP, and a 522 slugging percentage. Pretty good numbers as a Brave. And hopefully you just spark that. You turn back the clock. You catch lightning in a bottle twice. That's the only thing I can think Alex Anthopoulos is doing here. And again, same thing for Luke Jackson. 5.40 ERA, 4-2 record this year. Nothing to really, bat an eye at or anything. But he has pitched better in the month of July. 8 appearances in the month. A 3 ERA, 3.0 ERA the last 28 days. 13 Ks, 1 base on ball, 1 walk, folks. And only allowed 6 hits in that span. I believe 2 of those did go over the fence, so that's a little concerning. But he's pitching better. Friendly confines back home, and I shouldn't say friendly confines, back home in familiar territory in Truist Park. Braves uniform, which he had a lot of success in. So anxious to see if Luke Jackson can fulfill Tyler Matzek's role, and who was shipped over to San Francisco. We'll miss Tyler Matzek right there, the bobblehead of him. He had a great World Series run, helped the Braves get that. But 2 guys coming back, hopefully you catch lightning in a bottle twice. That's all you're asking here for. 2021 World Series MVP, key part of that night shift bullpen that we used to call it. So we'll see. Braves really just got to get better from the guys that aren't hitting. That's Matt Olson. That's Sean Murphy. Riley's starting to put the ball in play a little bit better. You got to get Michael Harris back and Ozzie Albies. And then maybe if you're healthy and you're still in the playoff hunt with one of the best ERAs in baseball, top 2 to be exact, I think the Braves still have a pretty good shot at competing for a world championship. I'm not very optimistic, but when you get in with 12 teams, as the Diamondbacks, the Phillies, and the Rangers have proven over the last 3 years. And Rick, if you really want to go back to 21 and put the Braves in that category, you really can. They lucked out. They had to win the division to get in. So you never know. You just never know when you get in the postseason. Anything can happen. And these Braves have postseason experience and plenty of it. And again, the last piece to that, you get Max Fried back. Ronaldo Lopez seems to have missed significant injury time. Nothing revealed in the MRI, so you hope Ronaldo Lopez comes back to his all-star form. Then you got Chris Sale. Again, Ian Anderson might come back and make an appearance. So, and then you got one of the better bullpens in baseball, especially on the closer end with Raisel Iglesias. So I like the Braves' chances getting to the playoffs. It's going to be tough to win it without Acuna and Spencer Strider, but hey, anything can happen, as the last 3 years have proved in Major League Baseball. Wayne, any thoughts on the Braves trade deadline acquisitions? As a outside fan looking in, what do you think? Small, big chance to win the World Series. Anything goes.
I'm gonna pull one of my little stunts here and give an answer that's a no answer, and this really applies to any of the teams that did trades. I expect trades to have almost immediate results. It would be like if you had Pop-Tarts, unfrosted Pop-Tarts, all on a table, different flavors. You don't know what flavor you picked up till you bite into it. So I'm going to wait to see what these trades do as far as biting in. Maybe August, I keep saying second week of August, but still, maybe even sooner than that, we'll see if these trades actually will do anything.
Yeah, we will see. Which teams actually got better and really improved their chances at an October run? There's really only one answer, but I'm putting a couple in here for fun. And one of them's not really for an October run, but for a future run. So I will preface that. But the Dodgers, that's pretty much 1A and really it. They got really, really good. They acquired Jack Flaherty from the Detroit Tigers in exchange for 2 prospects. Trey Sweeney, a former first-rounder from the Yankees, and Thyron Lorenzo. I'm terrible with the name, but he's a catcher first baseman. Basically got away with highway or not. I'm just kidding. Time will tell on those guys. They're prospects for a reason, but Detroit obviously opting to sell and not buy. So we'll unfortunately see TC's Tigers probably creep down the standings going through the season. They got rid of Mark Canha as well, but the Dodgers got really good. Mention it, they got Flaherty. They didn't have to break the bank to get him. As I mentioned, just 2 prospects. And if healthy, could see a rotation that includes Clayton Kershaw, Yamamoto, Walker Buehler, Tyler Glasnow, and, of course, Jack Flaherty. So you got 5 really good starters if the Dodgers can get Buehler and Yamamoto back healthy. And, of course, Kershaw's just now coming back into the season, so we'll see how he does. But this is great news because the Dodgers haven't had a starting pitcher get an out in the 6th inning or later in 15 consecutive postseason games. So I bet you with that rotation, one of those guys breaks that trend pretty quickly. I bet you one of these 5 starters will get an out in the 6th inning of a postseason ball game to break that 15 consecutive game streak, which I thought was pretty nuts, Wayne.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize that the Dodgers have had such starting pitching issues in the postseason lately. But I guess if you look at their postseason run since 2020, they've been cut short, as a friend of the show, Mark Manny, would always say.
Yeah.
The Dodgers got better. And here's my outlier. They also acquired reliever Michael Kopech from Chicago, infielder Ahmad Rosario, and outfielder Kevin Kiermaier. So they really don't have any lack of anything in their lineup. So Dodgers really got good there. The Marlins, to me, you might open your eyes and say, but they got better for the future. And I'll tell you why. The Marlins were sellers and sold big time. Sold Jazz Chisholm, sold De La Cruz, they sold their closer, everything. But they did get 15 players, 2 really high prospects in the Orioles organization that are going to be able to shine now because they had Jackson Holliday, they had Gunnar Henderson, they had all these players in their way that were young and signed. So now they'll have a chance to shine in Miami, and I think that's a good thing for Miami. When you're this far out, this early, sell, rebuild, figure out what you're doing for the future, and hopefully these Miami Marlins can look back and say this 2024 trade deadline was where we started to get good for the future, and hopefully they can be a contender in the National League East for years to come with these moves. So Marlins number 2. And I say that wholeheartedly just because I'd like to see the Marlins be good on a consistent basis. Their fans deserve it. So the Marlins got better simply because of, 15 prospects. A lot of them should pan out. Phillies were another team that got better. The best team in baseball acquired Angels closer Carlos Estevez, as well as Orioles outfielder Austin Hayes. And Wayne, you mentioned you want to see instant impact from these trades.
Yeah.
Hayes had that. He had an immediate impact, hitting a 3-run homer in his first at-bat as a Philly. So that trade seems to be working out.
Yeah, we know what flavor that Pop-Tart is now.
So, Austin Hayes, big 3-run homer in his first AB. So immediate impact right off the bat. Those are the 3 teams I feel like got better. 2 of them got better right now. The Marlins, I feel like, will be better in the future if they can keep this front office in line and keep these players in-house and stop moving them so doggone early. Let them develop and see what happens in Miami because it's just been a struggling franchise. So those are my 3 teams that got better. Wayne, any final thoughts on this, or should we move on to the Olympics?
I just hope that the 2 teams that will not get better are Seattle and Houston. I need those teams to get worse.
I think Seattle got better too, adding a Randy Rosarina. Yeah. He's had instant impact with Seattle in that lineup.
At least it ain't Oakland, right?
So, a very, very impressive trade deadline. And Jeff Passan, you can now relax. Let's move on from Major League Baseball to the Olympics over in Paris. The USA has 30 total medals as of right this moment, 5 golds, 13 silvers, 12 bronze medals, 17 of those medals, Wayne, in swimming.
Yep.
We've had Jack Bowerly on this program years ago, the swim coach at UGA. Wayne, you may remember that one back at WATB.
Yeah.
And he was a stroke coach for Michael Phelps in several of his Olympic games. So he's had some success. But yeah, swimming in America, 17 total medals of the 30, more than half. Pretty impressive.
Was it just me, or did Michael Phelps get an awful lot of TV time?
Well, I think when you're the greatest Olympian of all time, it probably helps to show his face a time or two.
Well, yeah, I guess.
When he's commentating on swimming. But I don't know. Guys, let's talk about what events have you been watching the most this summer. For me, Wayne, it's women's rugby sevens.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow, has this been exciting. Team USA won the bronze in dramatic fashion, taking the last play to the house for the game winner to beat the Australians. It was awesome. It's like the equivalent of an untimed down in football, throwing a Hail Mary touchdown and walking off for the win. So hats off to the women's rugby sevens USA team, bronze medalists. Also, man, Simone Biles in the Team USA women's gymnastics has yet again won all-around gold. I mentioned swimming. Katie Ledecky wins her 8th gold medal in the 1500 freestyle event, the longest swimming event in the Olympics. That you would have to get a forklift and get me out of the bottom of the pool because I would have drowned, Wayne, 1500 meter freestyle. That is crazy. So, yeah, that's what I've been watching. Women's rugby seven, a lot of women's sports, if you can't tell. I just enjoy the women's Olympics. It's fun to watch the gymnasts and the way they twirl and fly in the air. It was absolutely crazy on the vault, I believe it was. Simone Biles, vaulted 11 feet, 8 inches in the air or something. It's just absolutely crazy, the athleticism of these women and men, all the athletes. But again, I've just been watching the women a lot. That's just what happens to come on my television when I'm watching the Olympics. And that women's rugby seven was the coolest thing I've seen in this year's Olympics. What about you? What you been watching the most this summer of these Olympics?
Well, I'm kind of waiting for more track and field stuff to get going, but I did catch a little bit of the target shooting. And there's this cat from Turkey named Youssef Daik. I can't pronounce his name. But anyway, there's all these the shooters. They got special little lenses that they wear in glasses and hand things, and some of them have stands. They put this cat shows up with a T-shirt on that says Turkey. Got his hand in his pocket, no special glasses, nothing. Just look how he's pulled it out, gets a silver. Crazy. He looks like he stepped out of the stands, had somebody hand him a gun, and he's like, I'll show these cats how to shoot. And I'll show a picture of it up, but it's silly looking.
It's awesome. The shooting events are fun in both the summer and the winter Olympics. The stamina it takes, especially in the winter, because they do the cross-country skiing and they run up to the target and they got to control their heart rate. Ow, ow, ow. So, yeah, no, the shooting events are very interesting. Wayne, what's your favorite Olympic event? Winter or summer, or give me both of them? Your favorite in both. Let's have fun with it.
Obviously I'm a NASCAR fan, so the bobsled, the luge, and all that stuff is probably the one I pay most attention to in the winter. In the summer, it's mostly track and field stuff because my parents were involved in running clubs and everything else, and so I'm familiar with a lot of those events and how they work out. And my job back then was to do split times halfway across the track. And I was sitting there with a stopwatch and just tell them the time as they're going by.
That's pretty cool, though. So you have some experience with track and field, know how it works.
Well, no, I used to do the mile, but I really did not like it. And I think my fastest mile time was 7:21, but that was when I was in junior high and full of soda pop and caffeine or something. I don't know.
Performance enhancing drugs.
Well, Gatorade's kind of a performance enhancer, so who knows?
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, no, I'm with you. On the winter, it's bobsled or luge. The skeleton events are very fun. The
Yeah.
speed, the precision, and I think as you get older, you realize the everything matters
Yeah.
in racing, in any type of race.
It's
Everything
a it's
matters,
it's a
and
very focused event, and if you don't have your head right before it starts, it can majorly affect you, no matter how much skill you got.
yeah. So we share that in common. Bobsled and luge are my definitely favorite of the Winter Olympics. In summer, I'm an oddball. Boy, do I love water polo.
Oh,
I
yeah.
absolutely love water polo. When the games were in Atlanta in '96, my dad took us to see my grandfather's home country, Croatia, versus the United States of America. And if I remember correctly, I think Croatia just tore America a new one.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is fascinating. It's physical. They're basically like drowning each other, like
Yeah.
pushing a guy down to throw the ball in the back of the net, and the guy's like, and then they're still swimming. The water's 8 feet deep, folks. So
Wow.
it's not like they can touch the ground at any time. And
Yeah.
the only time they do is when they go down to push themselves back out of the water.
Wow.
So it's pretty impressive to watch water polo and the endurance, the strength it takes to actually throw a ball at that speed coming out of the water where you don't have your legs or anything. It's all upper body, torso, and it's just fun to watch. It's athleticism. You move the ball around. It's a unique style sport. And I just love watching water polo. So I can't wait for the water polo events to get going. And speaking of what I've been watching, man, the synchronized diving is crazy. That is absolute precision, and it's like you need to be a roommate or you need to live with your partner or something for a year to be on the page that they are. I mean, it's like we're walking up the diving
Yeah.
board, left, right, left, right,
Yeah.
3 paces, turn around, grab your left ear, grab
Yeah.
your right ear, then dive.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
it's nuts. And
sounds
I'm
like one of
obviously
those
joking.
sounds like one of those deals they used to have in that, what is that, Pacific Rim movie with those Jaegers, the two people having to sync their minds together in order to operate this big machine. The two swimmers have to sync their mind together before they hit the pool.
Yeah, it's impressive. But yeah, folks, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're watching, give us a comment. What's your favorite Olympic event? I have it on the ATL Prime Sports X account. You can go. I'll pin it to the top of the account or towards the top of the account so we can go back and get some of our fans' comments in there. Let's go ahead, wrap this show up short and sweet, a little trade deadline and Olympics talk, and let's get into our final thoughts, Wayne. And I'll kick this thing off, and it's going to be football related. 24 days until college football kicks off. And the first game of the college football season, Wayne, is Florida State and Georgia Tech from Dublin, Ireland. And a early happy anniversary to my wife. Tomorrow makes number 4. So 4 years happily married. Time flies when you're having fun, Wayne.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the anniversary.
Thank you.
I've got the 28 coming up in February. But one thing I wanted to mention as a final thought was the amount of UFL players that went to the NFL, and this has created a very good and I think quality stream of players wanting to go professional at the NFL level. Is if they can get into the UFL, sometimes you might want to make a career of that. But if you want to make that next step, it's a good place to go to actually show real game experience and what you can do. And I think Memphis ended up sending two top players, one to, what was it, Charlotte, and the other one was to Patriots.
Yeah, pretty impressive. The UFL is looking to be pretty strong. That merger between the XFL and the UFL have seemed to do fairly well. It did fairly well this year, and looking forward to that spring league building and building and building. Well, folks, that wraps it up. If you like the content, please give us a like and a subscribe and hit that notifications button on YouTube so you get notified of our latest content. And again, follow us all at ATL Prime Sports on Instagram, X, and of course, Facebook. For Wayne in Memphis, Larry in Adairsville, Todd in Woodstock, I'm JJ Jurjevich right here in Lilburn, Georgia. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. And as always, get you one.